So looking at this question here, you might be thinking, oh my goodness, what a mess. Well, don't panic. The first thing I would do here is just go crazy and expand all the brackets. So once we've expanded the brackets, that's going to give us A and B, or A and C, or B and A, or B and not B, or C and not A, or C and C. Can you spot anything there that we can work with? Well, I'm looking at the C and C. I'm also looking at the B and not B. I can use the inverse law on the B and not B, and I can also use the idempotent law on the C and C. So C and C will give us C, and the B and not B will give us 0. And I'll rewrite out the rest of the expression. Now remember, I'm doing this to gain as many marks as I can. And don't forget, you need to keep your knotted bars on the top of your terms if they have them. It's a common mistake that students make, just to leave them off. All I'm going to do in this next step is rewrite it all out again, but this time taking the 0 and one of the or terms out of the equation. The next step here, I'm just going to use the commutative law in order to swap the first term of A and B around to show you that I have two sets of B and A inside my full equation. And because I've got B and A, or I've got B and A, that will just equate to just one set of B and A. And that should give me B and A, or A and C, or C and not A, or C. Now this is a common place where most students get lost. I know that C and not A or C boils down to just C, but how do I know that? Well, I'm going to use the absorption law here. So let's show you how I got to that using a truth table at the side. I've got two terms, I've got C and not A. C can have the state of 0 and not A can be 0. C can be 0 and not A can be 1. C can be 1, not A can be 0, C can be 1, or not A can be 1. They are all the possible inputs that this truth table can have. If I OR not A and C together, that'll give me 0, 1, 1 and 1. Then I'll take that column and AND it with the C column, and that'll give me 0, 0, 1 and 1. And you'll notice that the C column is exactly the same as our final result, and therefore we can say that C and not A or C is equivalent to just C. And for the next step after this, we just have to realise that A and C or C, if we use the absorption law again, we're going to get exactly the same thing. We're going to also get C for the result of this. And we can quickly draw a truth table out again just to show that that is the same thing. So the final answer to this question is B and A or C.